Hello from windy and windswept Roscoff in Brittany in northern France. I started doing YouTube videos to try kind of document some of the wild camping I was doing in my van. Did a lot of wild camping this year over the summer. Probably not as much making videos as I had originally thought I would. So I still had a few that I have to edit, but never got around to it. So all the best later plans and all that. But anyway, I thought I'd make a video, a slightly different video, and that's documenting my sailing trip from Roscoff in northern France to Ireland, back to Ireland. I was very lucky in that I was invited along on a trip. 2 yachts sailed over and did some cruising along the coast of northern France, which was an amazing trip. Sadly it's come to an end now. My wife flew back today. Originally we had planned on taking the boats back today, but as you can see it's incredibly windy, so we're waiting for things to die down in the sea to kind of calm down a little bit, and we're going to go tomorrow, Sunday, instead. I think sailing is very similar to camping. There's a huge overlap there between going off in a sailing boat and sleeping on it and going off in a camper van and sleeping on it. I've also noticed that the kind of people who tend to be into one are also into the other, so if you're someone who likes camper vans and camping, you could try going sailing. You'd probably like it. You know, friends who are into it and stuff were asking me questions a little bit about it, so I suppose this video is more to just kind of showcase what's involved on a passage between one country and another on a 40-foot sailboat, as opposed to being a sailing video for people who are into sailing, because if you are that person, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Other than that, I'm just pottering around the marina. One of the nice things to do is to go around and have a look at some of the boats, so I'm going to do that now. When I see if anything of interest, I will show you. This is a Beneteau First 211. Myself and my wife actually rented one of these and spent a week on it in Croatia, and it was very, very much like camping. I mean, this boat is, as you can see, it's 21 foot long, so here's the angle. Pretty small. I have a very funny video of it pulled in beside a super yacht on one of the islands in Croatia. I think they're lovely little boats, and the keel of them actually lifts up, so you can trailer them pretty easily. So for a boat that you can stick in a trailer and bring home, it's a lovely sailboat. So this is an opportunity to do a really good kind of comparison about how the design of boats have changed. This is a Beneteau First 24. I'm not sure of the year, but it looks like something from the probably late 70s into the 80s. Just to show you, there's a modern version of this exact boat just down here, and there's a modern Beneteau First 24. The cockpit of this boat is so much more open than the other one, even though it's the same length. Like, there's way more space in here. So this is the cockpit of the older Beneteau. As you can see, it seems to be much kind of smaller and less open. You can see the importance of setting up a decent spring line. This boat is wedged up against the dock because they haven't set up a proper spring line. You can see this boat does have a spring line set up all the way there. That is what is keeping the boat from moving forward, and it's keeping it off the dock. The boat down here I'm going to go down and have a look at. It's a Garcia Exploration 45. If it was a car, it would be a cross between a Mercedes G-Wagon and a Lamborghini or something. It is just the go anywhere expedition boat. You can take it to the Arctic Circle. It's amazingly well equipped and it's in immaculate condition. If the owner is around, he probably won't be too happy with me recording video of his boat, but I'll see if I can do some on the sly. How cool is that? 2 head sails. Wow. That is tidal current. It's just the tide that's causing that flow. Pretty amazing. It is a massive current. Like, you can see how hard the boat is straining here on its on the spring and on the bow light. It's like a river. So the tidal range in Roscoff is really high. It's like double the range in Ireland. The tide here goes down by about 10 meters. Sometimes even more than that. So we're at low tide now. You'll see the difference when I show you. And here we have Sea Monkey, the Beneteau 393, which is where I've been living for the last 2.5 weeks, and which will hopefully bring me back across the channel to Ireland. Just show you what I wear when we're at sea for an extended period on our trip back. I have a pair of comfy tracksuit pants and this is a base layer. On top of that base layer I will wear a light t-shirt. On top of that I will wear this light kind of mid layer. On top of that I will wear a fleece, and I will wear my salopettes, which are kind of like dungaree things, similar enough to skiing ones, but there's no insulation in them. They're just light, tough, waterproof trousers that go up to over your waist like waders. Then on top, if it's not raining, I will just wear this kind of outer layer, and if it is raining I'll have a rain jacket which goes over the whole lot as well. So here's a look at the way the wind is for tomorrow. Sorry, now I can just change that back. We're looking at leaving Sunday at 12. Okay, so we're here in Roscoff, and you can see the wind. If we were to route directly to Ireland, we're kind of directly into wind there. So the plan is, rather than do that, we can sail on a close reach in this direction, and the plan is to go to a place called Newlyn, which is around here, and then the idea is to arrive there by kind of Monday morning this time. So you can see the wind is now westerly. Wait there probably for the day, and then by the time we depart we have ideally a more favorable wind from the southwest to route up the Irish Sea and back towards Laoghaire. Right, so I have just packed up to go to sea. Anything that was loose has been secured. All my holiday stuff is packed away safely in my bag. I have another bag here with just sailing stuff in it, so layers to take on and off, waterproofs, all at hand here, warm gloves for night time. Everything else is put away, my life jacket, more layers, wash bag, sunglasses. That's all I'm going to need. Hi John, can I give you a... we probably don't need all this water. Like, the boat is a 350 litre water tank, but I think if the seas are still a little bit lumpy after the bad weather, having that extra weight on board certainly won't be any harm. You can see plenty of boats have already left. Brian is filling a flask for when we're at sea. Are you going on first? Okay. Probably makes sense. Yeah.
It's starting to read very good. Back in the library, so. Oh, yeah. Oh, did you read it? I'm going to work out the notes for a little bit. A solid pet there, Michael. What do you think? No. I think they're all right. Bring up here.
And if it's busy, 72.
So we're underway now. I just came down to get a layer and put on because it's getting a little bit cold up there. Lovely breeze coming from the northwest. We're close hauled, so quite heeled over a good bit. And I was just sitting up on deck there, enjoying the sound of the water rushing past. So hopefully the wind will continue and we can continue on without the engine. Sinead? It's 4 in the morning and I've just come off a watch here. We're motoring into Falmouth, so wind it was due to die down but actually didn't. Stayed blowing in from the west and it got pretty lumpy. I was feeling a bit ropey myself, so I went to bed for a while. Feeling a lot better now, and I've just done a 2-hour watch, so we are now motoring into Falmouth. We will be there probably around 6. You can see the engine is on, which is there, kind of. So I've got my earplugs. I'm trying to get a bit of sleep now. So we've been in Falmouth for the day. The other boat in our flotilla last night elected to go to Plymouth, which is much further east, and they are just coming in now in the evening. We've been here since 6 a.m. He's just bringing the boat into dock there now. So here is Cornwall, in the very southwest corner of England. We came up from France last night and we came to here in Falmouth. The original plan was to go to Newlyn, which is there, but the wind was not in favour of that, so this is where we ended up. The other boat in the party elected instead to go to Plymouth, which is over there. So we've been here since 6 a.m. after going all night, and we just had a nice day here relaxing, got some food, got some Cornish pasties, and I got some nice Cornish ale. So and we got to take a walk around the town, which was very nice as well. And the plan is 6 a.m. tomorrow. The other boat has just joined us. 6 a.m. tomorrow. We're out of here, out around the corner. This is Land's End here, bottom of England. Around the corner and head straight north back to Ireland. So it's Monday evening now. Just had a nice day in Falmouth. The other boat arrived in probably about an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago. We helped them dock and we all went up into the town and got some really nice fish and chips and a nice local ale. So all that was lovely. I'm back on the boat here on my own. The guys have gone to the pub. I have learned the hard way that having a few drinks before going on an extended sea passage does not make for a very comfortable experience. For that reason, I decided to come back to the boat and just relax. I got a lot of sleep this morning when I came in and throughout the night and stuff, so I'm actually not that tired, but I'm going to just relax now and kind of get my head around the fact we've an early start and a big long passage to go again tomorrow. I'd say the lads won't stay out late. They'll probably go for 1 or 2 pints and go to bed early. I think the guys in the other boat are going to stay here for the day tomorrow. I don't think they're going to leave with us. Our skipper wants to get back. I want to get back as well. And I think we're kind of just going to go for it. We're expecting it to be windy until we get around Land's End, kind of more into the Irish Sea, and the forecast is for the wind to die off then, so we'll probably be motor sailing for a lot of the way back, which is fine. It usually means if there's not much wind that the sea is not overly rough, because last night was coming over from France yesterday, we had the remnants of that really bad weather from the day before, and it was quite lumpy, and I didn't puke, but it felt kind of ropey enough at times. I went downstairs down below in the boat once or twice, and I found that to be quite sickness inducing, because it was healed way over. I did take a short video of that, but you can't really see it on camera. You have to kind of feel it, but it was hard to move around. You can see the cooker healed off to one side because it's on a gimbal, so that always stays flat. So that's it. Just going to kick back, relax here now, not drink any alcohol, try to get a reasonably good night's sleep, and then in the morning we're going to hit the high seas again for the last leg of our trip back to Ireland. The trip is going to take, we leave tomorrow morning at 6 or 7, tomorrow being Tuesday. It's going to take until Wednesday night to get back, so 24 hours would bring us to Wednesday morning, and then possibly another 12 on top of that. So you're looking at 36 to 40 hours maybe, depending on how things go with wind and tides and engine and all the rest of it. So 40 hours, what we'll be doing is the usual kind of watch system. Normally during the day people are up and about and chatting and sitting around the deck, but as it gets later we take turns taking a watch, so it'll be 2 hours on, 6 hours off, which isn't too bad because there's 4 of us on the boat now, and we can manage that kind of between us. So that's it from lovely Falmouth, which I really liked. I'm definitely going to come back to Cornwall in my camper. So anyway, from lovely Falmouth, I will say goodbye, and I'll see you on the high seas in the morning. We're just getting ready to depart, so what I've done is I've set up a slip on this line, which means rather than being tied onto the bollard here, the line comes from the boat around the bollard and then back onto the boat. And what that means is that when we're leaving, we can just untie it on the boat and just let it run around this and get away without having to scramble onto the boat. And Paul is just doing the very same down the other end. Bow has been successfully slipped, rope is back on board, and we are reversing away from our berth. We're just reducing head sail there now because we're slightly overpowered. The boat is heeling a lot. So it's been made a little bit smaller, make things a bit easier to control. That was a big one.
Good timing.
So we appear to have hit some overfalls on the way to Land's End. Wind over tide or something, but it's causing the waves to stack up, get very steep and a little bit rough. just off Land's End. We're straight into the wind at the moment, but when we come round Land's End we should be able to shut that engine off and just start sailing again. I was up there having left Falmouth for about 3 or 4 hours, then I was getting kind of tired, so I went down and had a bit of a snooze. Now I'm hungry and I'm going to make some pasta for myself, so I have the water on the boil for the pasta and I have my pot of pasta safely secured in the seat behind me where it can't move around. If you're wondering why I'm doing it that way, it's because the kettle boils the water faster, I think, than the pot does. There's the marine stove gimbal in action. No water leakage. The engine has been turned off, which makes for a much more pleasant, relaxing experience down below. You can listen to the sound of the water rushing past the hull and just take it easy until it's your time to go back upstairs again. From a beam, which this boat likes a lot. Into Dublin, the weather has picked up at last. Blue skies. And our skipper is enjoying it as well. Hammock goes in, head sail goes out. Greetings from the centre of the Irish Sea, the sunny Irish Sea today. It's our last day on the water. We should be back by probably 10 or 11 tonight into Dunleary, and we have a lovely day for a nice motor sail up the centre of the Irish Sea. The wind, as predicted yesterday, just calmed down completely overnight. We had a nice calm night, there wasn't too much boat movement, got a great sleep. I had a watch then from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then after that I went back to bed for a few hours, and then I got up and had some toasted sandwiches for breakfast, which were very nice. We have a tide with us, so that's really helping. The boat's doing about 8.5 knots over ground, which is very good. We have the engine on takeover and we're sailing as well, because we have a nice following wind, although that's causing the jib to kind of flap over on top of me a bit. I don't know if you can see that. That's every so often the wind catches it from the back and kind of flips it over. And last night was interesting enough with some other boats around the traffic separation scheme just off Wales. We just had to keep an eye on that, but everything worked out fine. I think the skipper spoke to them on the radio and they sorted it out between them. So here we have boat speed of around 6 to 6.5 knots through the water, but if we compare that to our speed over ground, which is 4.5 knots, the difference is the tidal stream which we're getting around Wicklow Head, which is there. So the guys are pulling in the jibe preventer because the wind is from directly behind us and it's causing the mainsail to flop over and back. So this line here coming off the boom is what prevents it from going over and back. Island with its Martello Tower. So we're going to come up through the Docky Sound between Killiney and Docky Island. And just over on the right then is the red flashing light of the Muglins, the yachts. I have to say, it's a pretty cool way to come into Dublin. Docky, and we round the corner from Docky and the lights of Dublin City come into view. And so we reach the home port of Sea Monkey, Dunleary in Dublin. That red light is the light at the end of the harbour wall on the left hand side. There's a corresponding green one on the right, which is just around the corner. So I've arrived back in the marina. That is Sea Monkey there behind me, all tied up. Next thing to do is fill this trolley with all my stuff and start the long drive back. And that is my trip from France to Ireland on a sailing boat.